Hi, my name is Kolsch, and I'm standing here at the Awakenings Festival. It's Sunday, and I'm playing the Area V in about an hour, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You've been around for quite some time. Your musical style is constantly evolving, renewing, and then there's the focus on the one thing, then there's the focus on the other thing. So where in your career are you right now, in your own words? What is happening for you in this moment?
I'm actually just finished my latest album. It's just being mastered as we speak. And
This is a very interesting time.
it is a very interesting time, and it's the last album of my year trilogy. The first one was 1977, second one was 1983, and this is 1989. And then after that, it's going to be like the Gesamtkunstwerk, if you will. That's going to be it, and then I'm going to move on and do something that's a different project.
So why 1989?
So 1989 was the year that I really discovered music and started to make music. It was a very sort of depressive time in my life. My parents got divorced and I was moving back and forth. All my albums are very much about my sort of childhood and my youth. And this is a time where I realized that music was sort of the savior for me. You know, I was not very good in school. I was sort of feeling kind of shit, and I just discovered music and started to make music. I had my first band called Runa and the Motherfuckers, which was my first band.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We were terrible, but
You were angry.
yeah, I was very angry. I think we were all angry at one time, right? So that's what it's all about.
Can you, because you said that's what the year that I discovered music as my savior. Do you recollect like a certain records or a moment that you really realized, that music is it?
Yeah.
This is what can help me.
So actually, it's funny because there are a few records at the time. I mean, remember the Blade Runner soundtrack by Vangelis was like a really big deal for me because it had so many emotional sounds in it that I hadn't heard before, especially electronic music. Say the second one would be LL Cool J, the Booming System, because at the time I was playing drums because I wanted to emulate the sounds I was hearing on these hip hop records. I was like, how do they make those drums sound so good? And one record, the Booming System, had these drums, and I was trying for a year to figure out how to play those drums until I realized that they were all samples. So I stopped playing drums and got a computer and started making music. So there are many records that sort of influenced me to start making music, but I think that was one of the ones that really sort of set me off.
So next to Runa and the Motherfuckers, which sounds like something between heavy metal and I don't know what, and your hip hop roots.
We were playing Prince covers as well. We were kind of doing anything. It was funny.
Prince covers. Well, so there's all these different influences and the electronic music and the computer that helped you set your ideas into something that came out. How is that now? What influences you now for making music? Because now you got the computer figured out, so you can do everything you want.
So right now I'm very much into classical music. Actually, for the new album we recorded with the symphony orchestra because I wanted to sort of embrace. I think there's a direct link between electronic music and classical music, as there is only one composer. Like you have a writer that's using the classical, using the symphony as an instrument, and the only difference in my head is that instead of a symphony we have a computer, and it's kind of the same thing in the sense that we're controlling all the instruments. And also I think the emotional impact from being one person writing everything is much stronger, because basically music for me is all about sending a message without using words. I think it's important to sending this emotional message, and if I try to sort of extend which instruments I use. So a lot of times now it's a lot about re-recording with different guitars or different sounds. I think it's interesting to work with other people playing what I wrote, if you will. And I think it's a new challenge, and I think it's such a relief for me to be able to do these things that I always wanted to do many years ago, but I never had the money to do it, and now I can spend all my hard-earned money on hiring musicians. I can't stop it, you know. I finished the album and I'm already writing new tracks in the airplane because I love doing it.
It must be one of the best feelings in the world to bring out music and then to be able to play it in front of an audience and you actually see what happens when they hear music.
The funny thing is, what I really enjoy is making music that surprises audiences. Actually, on my new album, there's a track with a violin solo over it, and I don't know if there's ever been made a techno track with a violin solo, but when I play it, like half the audience is like, "This is amazing," and the other guys are like, "This is not techno." And I was like, slowly but surely, I'm trying to convince people to get into it. It's fun. It's like, you gotta give something new.
Yeah. Well, you have these two camps. You have the purists, and you have the explorers.
Yes, of course. That's all good.
And it's all good. And at this festival, they all meet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing is, I come from a very purist background. You know, when I started playing as a DJ, I was super into like only minimal records. I was only Robert Hood, Jeff Mills, Detroit stuff, Steve Bicknell, like really sort of tough, concentrated minimal techno. And it slowly opened up for me. I started listening to more melodic stuff, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good too. And over here we have this guy, and it's like, I think we all need to be given that that borderline drug to sort of go, all right, there's something new over here, there's something new over here we can listen to. I think that's super important, you know, and that's my job apparently.